What's going on, guys? It's been a while since I built on the Kayfun Lite Plus version 2, so I thought I would go ahead and do another coil build, and I'm going to be using a 5/64 drill bit, and this time around instead of 28 gauge I'm going to use 26 gauge kanthal, and I'm just going to do 8 wraps. Okay, if you remember when we're doing our Kayfun builds, you want one wire, you want your wires going in opposite directions. So that's similar to that right there. I'm going to clip off some of the excess. I'm going to leave these kind of long, so I have something to work with on the build deck. And really quick, we're going to pull this off of here. Should have something about like this. So I'm going to take a pair of tweezers here and grab a hold of this about like so. And then I'm going to torch this. Just want to heat it up till it glows red. Torch the legs a little bit. What this is going to do is actually stiffen this coil up. So that's what we have currently. I'm going to put this back on the drill bit. It's actually been a while since I've used my Kayfun, and since the whole little fiasco with the stainless steel being chrome plated brass and all that on the new Aspire Atlantis, I figured it was about time to come back and revisit a product that actually is made out of stainless steel. So there's what our coil looks like currently, and it looks like we ended up with 7 wraps. And the best way to do this is to put your coil on. Let's see how we got it laying here, and see how that is. I'm going to make sure that your coil is actually laying flat. See that? So you want to lay it on the deck flat. So let me get my drill bit. This makes it easier. You can hold it in place and all that. So you want to kind of put it across like this, and then pull this lead while holding down. Pull that lead all the way around while still keeping pressure. So we want to take our screwdriver, or Phillips head screwdriver, and tighten that down. And that should trap that right underneath there. Now same thing over here on this side. Gonna hold down, pull that under. I hope you can see what I just did there. And get it turned around here. I'm gonna hold that flat, but we're actually trapped underneath there right now. And while I'm holding back like this with my finger, my index finger where it's at, it's not going to allow this to be pulled. Because as you tighten this down, this coil wants to pull towards the screw, and that's not what you want. So there's that. Let's see if we got it. I believe so. We gotta do a really quick tighten again on this one. There we go. And now what we want to do, before I clip these leads off, just in case they come loose, because sometimes that happens. See how that's laying flat on the deck? I'm going to grab a hold of it like this and just gently pull up. And you see how we raised that coil right up off the deck? Let me put my hand back here so you can see through it. See that? That's what you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to pull the drill bit out. I'm going to take our clippers and we want to cut these as close as we can get them to these screw heads. And hold on to the wire too, guys, while you clip it. That way it doesn't come back and hit you in the eye or something. Get in there good and close. Okay, so right at the moment, this is what we're looking at. You can see how that coils up off the deck. Okay, so before we set this coil, fire it and all that, we can check the ohms on it really quick. 0.73. So that's 7 wraps with 26 gauge kanthal around a 564 drill bit. So that's not too bad. Okay, so what we're actually looking to do here is to fire this coil, and then we're going to lightly pinch it with the tweezers, and I mean really lightly pinch this with the tweezers. I'm going to go ahead and give it a fire. And what I'm doing is I'm going to pulse it, so I'm just going to tap the button just until we get it heated up. And just lightly give it a squeeze. And that will probably be all I would do on that. Now I'm going to take this little tiny screwdriver and just kind of rake it across there. And this will remove any hot spots. And that should be about good. Just like that. So as you can see, that coil's ready to rock and roll, man. So let's fire it one more time. Beautiful. As you can see underneath the coil. That's what we want. We want it raised up off of that deck. Looks pretty good. There we go. You can see underneath the coil itself. That way we got sufficient airflow. All it's left to do now is wick this coil up, guys, and vape it. I'm going to be wicking this with some Japanese organic cotton. Need to make it really sharp like a pinpoint in order to get it through the center of this coil. And then kind of pull back as you're pulling through. And then pretty much got it like that. That feels pretty good. I can still pull back and forth on that. And that feels pretty good to me. Now what you want to do is cut this off flush pretty much with the base. So something about like this probably. It's a little difficult to see on camera, but it'll be alright. Then I need to do the other side. Wet this with a little bit of e-juice, and this is some homemade strawberry that I made. This Japanese cotton wicks very well too, guys. Okay, so you see our juice channels? All we want to do with this is kind of pull it down here. You can see what I'm doing. And just kind of tuck it in and flatten it against that wall. You see that? And that's going to allow that juice channel to remain open, but still juice will be able to come into this channel and flow up and hit that cotton and go directly into our coil. And that's what we want. So I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. Now all that's left to do, guys, is go ahead and put our chimney pieces back on. So just carefully slide it over the top, like so. Thread that back in. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. Now we got our next piece of our chimney. So that's what we have so far. Now the top part of our tank. And that's it. Now we need to fill it. And since this has a wider bore on it, this actually goes to my Aspire Atlantis. And this actually fits down into Kayfun. And as you can see, those bores will fit quite nicely. See that? Better than the original, and it pops straight in there and looks great. So here we go. We got the Kayfun Lite Plus version 2 with our new coil build on it. We're going to vape it on the simple mod. That was a mouth to lung. Let's try a lung hit, though it's going to be pretty restricted. We did 7 wraps of 26 gauge kanthal around a 564 drill bit, and it came out to 0.73 ohms, and it's vaping fantastic. So that's it, guys. Till next time, take care and happy vaping.